Hi, I'm Chetan Venkatesh. I'm the CTO and founder of Atlantis Computing, and a real pleasure to be at my 5th BriForum this year as a speaker. I'm here this morning to give you a little bit of insight into Atlantis Ilio, persistent VDI using in-memory storage. Atlantis Computing, we've been working the last couple of years on creating a new kind of storage, purpose-built for VDI. VDI, as you know, is a very challenging workload in the data center. It has a capacity constraint. VDI requires a ton of storage capacity, and also there's a performance constraint because VDI is a very IOPS-heavy, IOPS-hungry application. What we've done with Atlantis Ilio persistent VDI using in-memory storage is that we take the RAM that's on the server, that's locally on the server itself, and we turn that into a primary tier of storage. And thereby we eliminate all the IOPS challenges that really dog VDI and allow it to scale out in a big way. In-memory storage is not a new idea. It's been around for many years. We just happen to be the first company that's built a general purpose storage system for virtualization where you can run desktops as well as server applications using in-memory storage. Let me tell you a little bit more about how it works. Using RAM as storage, there are two limitations. One, there's not a lot of RAM available on a server. So even if you take some of the largest servers that are out there that have 384, 512 gigs of RAM, there's really not a lot of VMs that you can store over there just given the size of a VM that can be anywhere from 50 to 70 gigabytes in size. Typical VDI VM is somewhere in that range. Most people want to implement persistent desktops because that's just the easiest way to get to VDI. Doing non-persistent means that you need to slice and dice your desktop infrastructure into layers, and that can be challenging for a variety of reasons. What persistent VDI lets you do is basically take the desktop as is and turn that into a virtual machine and run it in your data center. Challenge though is the capacity, and so the Atlantis Ilio product uses a form of real-time on-the-wire inline deduplication and compression to reduce the footprint of the VM dramatically. So we can take a 55, 60 gigabyte full persistent desktop VM and shrink that to about 2 to 3 gigabytes of actual storage capacity and keep the entire VM in memory and service it off RAM. So this is unlike caching or buffering where you only use RAM to keep a select set of blocks that are actively used. We actually keep every single block of every VM in memory. And so we can take something like 64 to 80 gigabytes of physical memory that's on a server through a hypervisor and turn that into a volume that has anywhere from 2 to 4 terabytes of virtual capacity. As a result, you can put on each server anywhere from 100 to 120 VMs that use that local server's RAM as a storage. Needless to say, IOPS is no longer a challenge because we're using RAM as storage, and the software itself is highly optimized to take very little CPU. It takes about 1 or 2 virtual CPUs and creates virtual storage out of that. So this technology is proven. It's in production in some of the largest data centers in the world. One of the largest deployments we have is a single site with about 100,000 VMs using the in-memory storage. We create virtually something like 2.5 petabytes of virtual capacity out of very little physical RAM using this combination of compression and deduplication and primary storage memory. So one key aspect of the persistent VDI technology is that it continuously synchronizes the contents of the memory with a shared storage system such as a SAN or NAS. So it functions in conjunction with traditional storage. All the I/O servicing is done by the in-memory tier, so all I/O is extremely fast, but the actual durability of data, the user's documents and files, things that are within their VM, are actually synchronized back to the physical storage layer, and so you get your durability, you get your availability from that tier. The combination of in-memory storage along with traditional SAN NAS completely changes the VDI landscape. It allows VDI to scale, it eliminates all the performance bottlenecks that have been dogging VDI, and have given VDI a little bit of a black eye in one sense. Brian and Gabe and Jack actually wrote about the new VDI reality that is now true because of technologies like Atlantis Ilio. It's a great read, very technical book, and I'd highly recommend downloading the ebook from our website, atlantiscomputing.com. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking about Atlantis Ilio persistent VDI using in-memory storage.